Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of our pilot season one-shots. Today we are playing the Stargate, I guess the full title actually is Stargate SG-1 role-playing game. I've been just calling it Stargate RPG, but that's, yeah, looking at the cover of the book now, is Stargate SG-1 RPG. I'm joined today by Mark, Dragon, and Amy. How's everybody doing?
Good. Thanks. Yourself?
Not bad.
Not bad, yeah. Well, let's get straight into it. Who are each of you playing today?
So, for this game, I will be playing a flight lieutenant, ex-RAF, by the name of Douglas Neville, with the nickname of Dougal.
Okay.
And I am playing John Tabris, who is a flight officer?
Yeah, I think we said flight officer. Yeah.
I think we said flight officer.
You said.
No, I think Mark's.
I'm the flight
I
lieutenant.
do the flight lieutenant.
Yeah, I'm basically the baby of the group as a new member to the SG team who has been all the secrets. Well, not all the secrets, but the secrets of the gate has been revealed to. So they are fresh faced to this team.
Yet to go on a trip through the gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am playing Kay Na. They are a Tok'ra, whose host is formerly enslaved Unas.
We're just slamming two origins together for this character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why not?
The Tok'ra symbiont needed a new host while they were escaping. So.
Totally, yeah. Okay then, so that's our characters for this one shot. Let's dive into it. We open our story today on Earth, more specifically in Stargate Command under Cheyenne Mountain just outside Colorado Springs, and even more specifically in the main briefing room, where the three of you are sat around a table for your first official mission briefing as a team. Is this the first time you're all meeting each other, would you say?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably, yes. Well, for tabs, yes.
Yeah.
I imagine it's the first time the two of you will have met Kana.
Yeah. So it's probably, or definitely for Tabs, the first time seeing an Unis as well.
Not quite sure what to think.
Well, for those who maybe haven't watched the show, an Unis is kind of like a big... I don't know how to describe it. What does the book say?
They're a reptilian humanoid.
Yeah.
Remind me of the Dragonborn without horns.
That's a good way of thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Build's a bit different. It's probably closer to the speculative biology with the what if the non-avian dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct?
Yeah, the whole kind of like head ridges and that is a little bit like what's that? The one that dinosaur that headbutts. The
I know the one you mean back at.
Yeah, that one. They've got that kind of sort of like that look around the head. I don't know, maybe that's just how they just how they strike me.
Hands and feet.
Fringes.
Yeah.
Big claws, horns.
Yeah.
Big chin. Big pointed chins.
Yeah. But very maybe a little bit intimidating to Tabs then as your first sight of something not from Earth, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's first alien.
Yeah.
It's first alien.
So yeah, as I say, you've all come together in the briefing room. I think you've been given a little bit of an idea of what's happening here, and that is that the three of you are going to be members of the first British-run Stargate team. Recently, the existence of the Stargate program has been revealed to the members of the UN Security Council, having been an American secret facility for quite some time. And after a lot of political wrangling, it is agreed that other countries can start running their own teams, obviously liaising with the Americans, but running their own teams through the gate, pooling resources and such as they do. And you three are to be members, as I said, of the first UK team, which we're dubbing SGB1 which every time I think it or say it sounds a little silly, but yeah, that's... So yeah, the three of you are seated around the big briefing table, awaiting your commanding officer. You all know vaguely why you're here. You know that you're going to be part of this team. It's a sort of a big opportunity, I think, for I guess all three of you. I was going to say for Dougal and Tabs, but Kana, you're kind of a little bit more experienced. You're a Tok'ra. You're from off-world, so you've been brought in as a kind of an expert, to say.
Dougal's just sort of humming quietly to himself. He's taken note of the Unas next to him.
What are you humming?
Something by the Wurzels. I'm just humming one of their great hits, and I look at the Unas and I go, "So do you come here often?"
Tabs is just going to sit there and chuckle. He thinks it's hilarious.
Kana turns her head.
To Earth? Recently, yes.
What do you think of it?
Her eyes flash.
It is quite unique.
I think you probably wouldn't have left the Stargate command facility on any of your visits.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if anyone has shown it, but I'm pretty sure that someone would have been like, look at this.
Yeah, you would have been shown like videos and pictures and things, and we're like, here's what the planet's like. But the people don't really know about it, so we can't really have you going outside.
You can smuggle an Unas around.
No.
They'd have stuck you in a room with a television and showing you some trash TV. That's what I'm imagining.
Showing you like sort of like a travel show or something, I guess. But like, here's what the planet's like.
Something to give like some background on it. The
Big Brother.
Oh God.
It is quite different from other Tauri worlds.
Oh, I know that word. Tauri. That's the one they call us, isn't it?
It's the outer space word for Earth.
Yeah, that's right. It's right.
You look slightly nervous, Flight Officer.
Oh, it's the first alien I've met. It's the first time I'm going to be going through the ring thing.
Stargate.
The gate. Yeah, that. I'm a bit excited, but also slightly terrified. It's new.
It was like that for me the first time I stepped through it.
How many times have you been through?
Only twice. First time was to see how the SG teams operate here, and the second time was a basic reconnaissance mission. Nothing that fanciful went down, but you'll be fine. Walking through the gate, it's like drinking a cool cider sat while you stood on top of a haystack in a strong wind.
Oh, but I don't like cider.
Well then,
we're gonna have a lot of problems.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I do like a bit of bitter, though.
Well, there you go. Replace the cider with a bitter, stand on a haystack and drink it in a strong wind, and that's what it's like going through a gate.
So I'm going to be sick.
It depends how big your bitter is.
Maybe we should have taken a bitter before we got here. But obviously I'm on duty. That's Never mind. It's fine.
What's your name, Flight Officer?
Tabs. Well, John Tabras, but everybody calls me Tabs.
Pleasure to meet you, Tabs. I'm
Michelle.
I'm Douglas Neville, but people call me Dougal.
And yourself?
Ina looks over at the youngster.
I am Kana.
And that's all of you, or the wee man inside you?
Kana is the Tok'ra. My host's name is actually surprisingly similar.
So we'll just call you Ken now. Yeah, all right, cool. Right, pleasure to meet you. Welcome to Earth.
Thank you.
I think at this point, your team leader, who I think each of you will have met at least once, Captain Baxter, comes in alongside a man you know to be sort of his boss, the liaison officer between the RAF posting here and the US Air Force, is Commodore Wilson. Captain Baxter is a man in his, I guess, late 30s, early 40s. He's got a close-cropped head of light brown hair, starting to show a few signs of balding, though. He's got quite a penetrating stare. He looks like he means business. I guess he looks a little bit like Ross Kemp.
With hair?
Yeah, with a little bit more hair. Ross Kemp with hair. There we go.
Really odd image, considering I can only see him without hair.
Yeah, I've been watching too much Bridge of Lies recently, and I'm so used to him like full bald. But...
If you're going with a Ross Kemp template for the guy, just give him a full-on mullet, just for the giggles.
Do they let mullets happen in the Air Force?
I don't think they did. No,
I don't think they did.
Not a chance.
No. You'd be properly clean cut.
Yeah, but he looks like a younger Ross Kemp with hair. So yeah, that's Captain Baxter. Commodore Wilson is a few years older and a little bit balder, I will say. Yeah, he's you will kind of stand up as they come in, and the Commodore gestures for you all to sit back down at the table, and him and the captain both take their own seats. The Commodore clears his throat. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. I've called this briefing today because we have some good news. Authorization and a destination for your team's first mission through the Stargate. Been a long time coming, so let's get straight to it. Captain? Captain Baxter passes a sort of briefing folder to each one of you, and also fires up... I was about to say overhead projector, but that implies the thing like we had at school. I mean, he fires up like a sort of slideshow projector thing. Your mission will be a straightforward initial reconnaissance. The planet you'll be going to has been designated P91412. You'll be the first team from the SGC to set foot on it, but a series of unmanned drone readings have been acquired over the past 2 days, following the first gate dial-in last week as part of the search for potential sites for an off-world base. Conditions on the planet are, as far as we can tell, a little less than ideal. We're looking at below freezing temperatures during the day cycle, which drop further to a completely unlivable level at night. Not exactly a good choice for an outpost, I'm sure you'll agree. However, the drone flights have picked up signs of a structure, not far from the gate itself, which warrants investigation. That's where your team comes in. Any questions at this stage?
Well, regarding this chilly planet we're going to be visiting, are there any indications of life presence around the probe site?
Not directly, no, but the presence of structures implies that it was inhabited at one time or another, if not currently.
Dougal just takes it on board and then makes a face as if to say, Interesting. Still taking guns, he says in his head.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be leaving the guns behind it, just in case.
No, I've seen this show more often not to realise you never don't take a gun through the Stargate.
Yep. John's gonna just like pipe up. And if we have a first contact situation, sir.
That is why I'm here.
Right. Awesome.
And Kena looks over to the superior officers and kind of bows her head slightly in apology for jumping in.
That's perfectly fine, Kena. In fact, I want to thank you once again for agreeing to serve as our off-world expert on this team. We would ideally like to keep things as peaceful as we can, but the fact is we don't know what you all might run into out there, and any expertise you can contribute will be invaluable. I'm sure you've all read some of the American mission reports, and Well, we can't rule out that there might be some kind of trouble waiting for you. There often seems to be for them.
Well, they are a bunch of cowboys at times, sir, aren't they?
Well, I couldn't possibly comment on our friendly allies here who are hosting us, but
just a bit of banter, sir. Just a bit of banter.
Yeah. Might be an idea to keep the banter low, as a few of them might be in the next room.
They know I'm joking, sir. They know I'm joking.
Yes, well, you know what Americans are like. Different sense of humour.
I think that O'Neill bloke's got quite a good sense of humour about him.
Ah, had a chance to meet the Colonel then, have you, Lieutenant?
Down in the locker room, he said hello when I turned up. We had a bit of a chat, and he made a very funny joke about Alabama and goats, as I recall. But yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Well, glad to hear you're all getting along. Any other questions at this stage about the mission before we move on?
I do have one question, sir. What's the time window on the mission? How long do you expect us to need on the planet?
Given the planet's conditions, this mission will have a particularly short time frame, as we can't risk you getting caught out there after dark. We estimate that from the planned arrival time, you'll have just over 4 hours to complete your initial reconnaissance of the area and return to the gate before temperatures reach dangerously low levels. So that'll be your hard time limit.
Understood, sir.
Your iris codes will be locked out after the standard 48-hour window, but if you're on the planet anywhere near that long, then something will have gone seriously wrong.
Don't worry, sir. We'll remain in contact.
Glad to hear it. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll just wish you all good luck, and I'll leave you in Captain Baxter's capable hands. See you all in the gate room at 1100. He gathers up his folder and leaves the room, leaving you with Captain Baxter. All right. Looking forward to working with all of you. Should be an interesting trip for our first mission. And as the first UK team, I want everything done properly. Let's set a good example and prove we're just as good, if not better, than the bloody Yanks.
Tabs got to straighten up. Yes, sir. Yeah, aye. Definitely.
Aye, sir.
Okay, we've got a couple of hours before we head out. I want double checks on all your equipment before then. The last thing we want is something to break down in such harsh conditions. Should go without saying we'll be deploying in winter gear for this mission also, so keep that in mind. Okay, I need to have another word with the Commodore before we do anything else, so I'll meet you all in the armory as soon as possible. Dismissed. And he steps out of the room.
Okay, we should get our gear all together then. Snow stuff, you said, didn't?
Yeah, expecting winter gear. So you've got a bit of time to kind of get kitted out, really. It wasn't like a meeting, briefing, and then straight down to the gate. So this is the point then where I'll sort of let you tell me if there's anything specific you want to bring. We've obviously out of character done this a little bit in Frontier, but with it in mind that it's going to be sort of winter, winter gear. Is there anything specific that you think? Oh, I might grab one of those as well just to bring with me. We can be fairly open with this. I'm not going to outlaw many things, I think.
Probably be a good idea if we're going into wintry conditions, depending on how long we're there. Be good to have flares of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Just to if nothing else, once we can plant on the ground to illuminate the area we're in. Yeah.
I mean, the way I would look at it would be to say you've got all your basic kit, all your weapons, and the things you would have with you regularly, you will still have with you. It's just if there's anything that strikes you now as like it might be a good idea to specifically name that as a thing that you're bringing. I'm just going to say.
I'm going to take some kind of like the rechargeable heat packs.
Mm-hmm.
While Unas and Tok'ra are pretty hardy. Unas are still reptilian.
Yeah.
And that I'm in my head at least. They are mesothermal. So
take all the coats
if needed.
Take all the coats with the fluffy hoods.
You could
for the Unas.
We could almost say that you could put a bit of kind of under a coat, put combat webbing on, and just put heat packs in that to kind of keep your body warm as you go.
Yeah.
Heat pack in the jock strap might help. AJ's got nothing to say.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what to add to that, to be honest.
Tabs is going to take a Swiss Army knife as extra, because that just, in my head, figured like Swiss Army knife, that's handy. Multiple tools.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd already have like a kind of multi-tool thing and like a knife and stuff, but like it doesn't hurt to have like your own personal pen knife. Or not just pen knife, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think Dougal's going to take, as I said, some flares, and probably going to take some. He's going to take a pair of the wide goggles, keep his eyes shielded.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine we'll all
snowstorm.
have goggles.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we probably all.
I think we could kind of fold goggles into just the general
Winter
concept of winter gear. Yeah. Yeah.
Not sure what else they could take, actually.
Yeah, because it's an alien planet as well, so we're not really sure.
Well,
Yeah.
To be honest, most of our, like even the basic kit, will have things for dealing with different temperatures.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah.
Our weaponry wouldn't be affected by the cold, would it?
Let's say
Earth
no.
Weaponry?
No.
Okay.
Just no, I couldn't have thought it would be. I don't think we need to get into that.
One.
Yeah.
What weaponry has Kana got?
Pole arm
Hold on.
and her claws.
And a claws. Fair dues.
Look
I think
at-
I'm going to have my standard. I'm going to have my full loadout with me, so the shotgun, the sidearm, and my blade, combat knife thing.
Because I haven't got your sheet, Amy. What have you got in the way of guns?
I have my sidearm, and I have a P90
Okay.
and my long arm.
Good, cool. You picked the cool rifle.
I did pick the cool rifle.
Do we want to take a Zat with us?
It's up
Guess
to
we
you.
need
If
to
you,
zap
if you want to
something.
take one, you do have access to a few of them.
Might be a good idea to take a Zat Nicotel if we need
Yeah.
to recharge
Just
something quickly.
some people, yeah.
Yeah.
Though I think Dougal should take it because Tabs will not have a. Tabs will shoot himself.
I mean, I feel
I
like
could see it happening.
Yeah, but we also need Dougal to be able to move
Yes, that's true.
and scout ahead.
yeah.
I'll take it then. Okay.
I feel like Tabs, you're kind of underselling yourself a little bit. Like, you're kind of new, aren't you? But like, you've been through basic training, and presumably you've been picked to be on this team because you're pretty, you
Yeah.
decided
be
to.
He's
Not
still
bad.
nervous. Still
Yeah.
nervous.
I would hope you'd have been told what Zat Nicotels do
Mm-hmm.
at this point, because if you shot yourself 3 times, that's like, well,
Where you you can't shoot yourself 3 times.
Yeah.
that would have to be a natural 1.
Yeah.
Well, because you've been knocked out by the
Each
first
time.
one. How are you then continuing to fire it at yourself? If you're dead on the second one, disintegrated on the third one.
That's a fair point. If you're unconscious, you probably wouldn't be able to pull the trigger on
Yeah.
yourself again.
Yeah.
I've got the Zat added to my loadout
Cool.
as a weapon, but I don't think we need to use it as a weapon. It's just going to be like a tool for getting electrical charge. Otherwise, it'd be a bit overpowered, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
I'm going
Well, it
to.
might, in the fact that 1 shot stun, 2 shot kill. If someone rolls really, really well, it does feel a bit overpowered.
I mean, you're holding a shotgun. I mean, like,
Yeah, but the shotgun has the ability to spray far and wide and actually miss.
I don't think
Quite
it's overpowered.
badly.
It's just it's a gun you have access to. I think it's, yeah.
Bear in mind that if this is an RAF group that is working with the Americans, it will be all the guns with the highest firepower.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So, and certainly any of the Tok'ra Goa'uld weapons are,
Yeah, I mean, the Tok'ra use Zats and staff weapons like anyone
That's
does.
true.
I mean, put it on there as weapons because it's a weapon,
yeah. I am going to have Kana take like a collapsible shovel
Sure, yeah.
because archaeology, snow.
idea. Yeah.
I have dug too many times in grim weather.
Yes.
The thing with the Unas is I think I was about to say, I don't think you're going to need knee pads because I think they've got kind of bony knees. But then in all the artwork here, they are wearing knee pads.
They're all
so,
covered.
Yeah. But yeah, good idea. Shuffle. So if that's everything that you guys wanted to add to your gear, we are going to, I think, jump forward to you all congregating in the gate room. The 4 members of the team, that's the 3 of you and Captain Baxter, congregate at the foot of the ramp. You're all well kitted out in winter gear. I don't know whether we're all sort of picturing that kind of like white snowsuit type kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of the look. But yeah, all geared up. It's a little hot in here to be wearing all that, but like it's better to put it on now before you go through the gate than afterwards. Tabs, is this it's your first time in the gate room? I know you haven't been through the gate before, but I'm presuming you would have come in and taken a look, or somebody would have given you the option of like taking a look now you've been sort of stationed here.
Oh yeah, I've probably had like been given a tour and like had seen it from the actual like command desk, like opening and doing the whole cycle and being just like, that's cool.
Yeah, you would have seen another team going off on stuff and coming back. You've seen it in operation, sort of thing, and I guess it blew your mind a little bit.
It's still blowing his mind. He's just like, this is just. A few weeks ago, there was one world, it was our world, and now a week later there's a whole galaxy of folks, and there's a big empire of snake heads invading. And this is my life now. Cool. Right, okay.
How does it feel, like Officer Tabs, to realise that science fiction just got a hell of a lot more real?
I feel like I'm in War of the Worlds, if I'm honest. I'm expecting a tripod, but I know not to expect a tripod.
Well, sorry to disappoint. I ain't seen no tripods just yet, but I've seen a fair few things that look like TIE fighters. So,
well, like Star Wars?
Yeah, close enough.
Seriously?
Seriously. You'll do fine. Once you go through the gate the first time, it gets a lot easier.
Right, take it one step at a time. One big step.
Commodore Wilson's voice comes over the sort of tannoy from the control room. Says, SGB-1 ready to deploy. Baxter gives them the thumbs up, and the gate mechanism starts spinning. It's making a lot of noise. There's steam coming off of it, and it doesn't look at this is how it runs. Having seen it before, but it's actually being in the gate room as it's doing it. It's a lot noisier than you thought it was going to be. You didn't realise quite how much soundproofing and that was it on the windows between. As you're all kind of standing there preparing yourselves, there's the remote controlled MALP thing next to you as well. I know it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a little robot cart thing that has a lot of extra gear on it. It's where majority of it's got like storage bays and things and sensors and stuff on it. The 4 of you kind of form up around the MALP, all sort of making last-minute checks of all your gear as the gate runs through the final stages of its dialing sequence. Glancing back, you can see all of the technicians hard at work through the glass into the control room, and Commodore Wilson standing just on the other side of the glass, actually, watching the gate spin up. Captain Baxter gives all of you one last reassuring nod before turning back, just in time to see the last chevron engage and the Stargate activate.
Chevron 7 locked.
The room is filled with a sudden explosion of light as it forms into a stable wormhole through space. And even those of you who've been through the gate before and have seen it however many times you've seen it, can't help but be impressed, as you always are. Captain Baxter gives you a couple of seconds, sort of looking at it before leading the way. So, alright then, let's move out. And he begins leading the way up to the top of the steps.
Kana immediately follows.
Tabs is gonna go after her and just like, alright. Experience in front of me, experience behind me. Good stuff. Be fine.
Baxter stops at the top of the round. Right, Dougal, you're the scout. Go first.
I am indeed stepping forward.
Okay.
Here we go.
And yeah, Tabs, you watch as Dougal disappears through the sort of rippling blue surface, and yeah, he's gone.
Oh, it's just like that, is it? Okay. Here we go. And he steps through. just goes for it.
Okay. You step forward into the gate. It's a strange feeling. It almost feels like you're being torn apart at every level. It's not painful, but you just have this overwhelming sense of being sort of spread out while travelling at immense speed. You lose all sense of time. It could be minutes that pass, it could be a fraction of a second. But suddenly, you're through. And you find yourself in a raging blizzard.
Whoa. Whoa. He's gonna brace himself for a few minutes in the snow, just letting his mind just collect for a second, and then look immediately for Dougal.
Real quick though.
Yes.
Can I get a Constitution saving throw from you? I think because it's your first time. I don't think I need one from the others.
Yep. 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, I think you're feeling a little bit queasy, but yeah, you're generally okay. You feel like, well, okay, it's something that you've never been through before, and you feel like you've just gotten off of like an hour on a roller coaster.
Yep. Yeah, his stomach is like gone sideways, and he's not quite being able to like right it back again.
Yeah.
Like, he's just gonna. Whoa, right, Dougal, where are you? Gonna scout about.
The Malp trundles past you down the ramp from the gate. I take it, Kana, and you'd followed on as well.
Yes.
Okay.
At that point, Dougal just steps up from just behind Tabs, pats her on the back quite suddenly, and says, "Like a bitter in a strong breeze. I told you."
Jesus, don't do that. Oh. It'll take me a minute. I'll be fine. Fine.
You'll get used to it. Don't worry too much.
Aye, cheers.
Anyways, welcome to your first alien planet.
Aye.
Dougal just gestures out with the arm that doesn't have a weapon held in it.
I was just gonna look at him and go, it's a bit nippy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of an understatement. It was a full-on snowstorm happening all around you. It's like the wind is up and visibility is very short. It's kind of dark as well. It's not like your daytime invisibility is poor. It's like you're sort of in, like the snow around you is being lit up by the lights on the Malp and that, but it's kind of like you're in a blizzard at night time, and it's a very uncomfortable situation. You're kind of having to raise your voice over the wind a little bit as you're kind of talking to each other. And Baxter steps down from the gate, says into his radio, "Everyone full and accounted for, SGC. See you in 4 hours." Gets a quick response. You don't really hear over your own radio, and the gate shuts down, plunging you all pretty much into this sort of swirling, freezing ice darkness all around you. Baxter sort of, I say, raises his voice a bit. "Right, let's get to work. See what we can see."
Aye, sir. Take it we're just going to move out then?
Yeah.
In formation?
He's brought up a sort of pad thing on his wrist just to double check things. He says, "LiDAR said structures were within 100 meters directly across from the gate, but I don't know what there is in terms of cover between there and here, so let's stay sharp.
I think at this point, Kena is going to activate one of the heat sources, because this is definitely cold enough for it.
Yeah, it's very cold. I'd say it's below freezing.
Just do a double check that she's got full mobility. And then looks round.
Let's go.
Yes, Mom. He's good. Tavs is just gonna follow you because you seem to know what you're doing, and we're gonna be going in the same direction. So it's like, I'm gonna follow experience, keep an eye out as best I can for any danger.
The ground seems to be pretty solid, although there's kind of blowing drifts of snow. It's not like you're kind of stepping into you don't immediately like sink up to your knees or anything like that, but there is a lot of snow on the ground, but it's sort of blowing around. The ground is solid. You're able to keep your footing. It's kind of like you would guess maybe like a rocky surface or something like that, but yeah. I'm just saying there's a lot of snow blowing around, and it's maybe slightly impeding your progress, I would say. And it's sort of you find it as you're kind of slowly working your way across. The easiest thing to do is to kind of shine your torches kind of at the ground to get a little bit of bounce light rather than sort of ahead of you, because as you're shining it ahead of you, it's just picking up all the snow that's flying directly in front of your faces, and it's not actually making it easier to see anything. But yeah, as you kind of make your way away from the gate, can I get perception checks from each of you?
12.
Ah, I forgot the spell.
12 from Dougal.
I see nothing.
No, not with a 5, probably not.
Also don't. Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Una.
So... oh no. You're kind of, as a group, kind of picking your way forward, and Kana, you notice before anybody else does, the sort of, as your eyes kind of adjust to the gloom, you're able to kind of start, as you're looking around, discounting the flurries of snow that are blowing into your face every couple of seconds or so. You're able to see, even though it's pretty dark out, you don't think it's really it's not night. This is more kind of like the fury of the storm is kind of darkening things. So there is a little bit of kind of background daylight, and you start to see these large shapes kind of looming up out of the gloom, kind of at a bit of a distance around you. But what you start to see, as you get closer and closer to where Captain Baxter sort of said that structures should be located, is a kind of 2-story structure of some sort, which looks to have, it's not the biggest of things, but it does sort of seem to be kind of built into the side of some gently sloping ground going up, so you would guess it's some kind of entrance way. But far in the background is the unmistakable shape of a pyramid.
Okay. So Kena will hold out an arm to indicate everyone to stop. Gesture for everyone to come in closer so that we can speak to each other. Without, it's unlikely sound will carry.
Yeah.
What is it, Kana?
Yes?
There is a pyramid. This is or was a Goa'uld planet.
Exercise extreme caution.
Little Kra have no record of habitation on this planet. We could be walking into almost anyone.
You feel at this point, it's taking you a few minutes to kind of walk across away from the gate, and that the wind is actually, now you've kind of stopped and are sort of huddling together, you start to feel that the wind is easing a little bit. There's still definitely a snowstorm going on, but it's not quite as bad as it was. At this point, the rest of you are able to kind of look up to where Kana was sort of indicating, and it's tough, it's a little dark still and everything, but you can sort of see this looming shape kind of in the, I guess, middle distance, really. I was trying to think how it would be, but it's not in the distance, it's definitely kind of, you're heading towards it, but it's a large structure. But it does, as your vision starts to clear a little bit, something kind of strikes you as a little odd about this pyramid, and that is that it, compared to say like the Great Pyramid and ones that you've sort of seen through briefing materials that the Goa'uld have kind of built on other planets, this one, it almost looks unfinished. Like the top looks like it's kind of at a slight, not angle, but like it doesn't look like it's been kind of fully finished off. And Kana, you would kind of, this would strike you more than the others, because obviously you've had much more experience with Goa'uld structures, and yeah, this one, it's definitely kind of looks like what you think it is, but it almost looks like a not quite pristine pyramid, I would say.
Something is wrong with it.
You define wrong.
Finishing and capping stones for the top third are missing.
I know those. They sometimes use them as platforms for their ships, don't they? Could it have came off when it took off?
Impact damage is possible.
Yeah, or it crashed, yeah.
It's possible. It also may not have ever been finished.
Chased off before they were able to completely gain control.
We shall see once we're closer.
I'd advise keeping as low as possible, Captain, on the approach. Can I perceive any kind of cover, any vegetation or structures we can use to conceal ourselves on the way there?
I think make another perception check. I was going to go with the one you just did, but then that was kind of general check to see if, see if you could kind of see the general shapes through the storm. So if I could get a more specific one, a 5. Okay, no, I mean, no, you don't see a lot. As I say, the storm is still a little bit, the blizzard is still a little bit raging. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still a bit bleak out here, I should say. Yeah, but not with the 5, you can't really make out anything else that in the direction you were going.
It's either that, or I didn't pick up the winter goggles and I got welder's goggles instead, and everything's just dark.
Look. I'm not going to make you have made that mistake, because I feel like you're, as a scout, like if that's a mistake that you're making,
I shouldn't be a scout.
You shouldn't be a scout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You're a terrible scout.
Yeah.
You're having a little bit too much cider.
Yeah, you are too much Baileys on the Special K.
You've changed from cornflakes to Special K then.
It depends on the time of year, AJ. Sometimes it's Cocoa
Depends when he's on his diet.
Exactly. Sometimes it's Special K, sometimes it's Cocoa Pops, sometimes it's Honey Nut Cheerios.
Nesquik if you want to treat yourself.
Hey! Oh, Nesquik and Baileys, you give me an idea.
Oh, God.
That sounds awful.
Oh, God.
It sounds awful.
I've just never been a Baileys guy. Like,
No,
it just
same.
doesn't.
I think it's absolutely vile.
It's grim stuff.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't really see any extra cover between where you're standing and sort of smaller structure that is supposed to be up ahead. But as I say, visibility out here is kind of low anyway. So if you wanted to be kind of keeping it a little bit low as you're heading forward, I would need some stealth checks.
Oh my God. For a scout, I'm terrible.
Oh, you're not doing well.
Stealth.
3.
No, I'm not.
Do you have anything to add to that?
It's a plus dex.
I mean, it's not going to make it great, but like...
Plus dex, isn't it?
Stealth is a dex skill.
Plus 1, 4.
You have a plus 1 for that.
17.
17. Yeah, Tabs is doing alright.
Tabs is like on his toes, just being like ready to bounce and
His
run.
Head on a swivel.
Like ready to grab whoever to like leg out of there.
I am not built for stealth.
2. Okay. That's...
How is the new guy the most stealthy?
I should probably roll one for... I will roll one for Captain Baxter. Jesus.
Oh,
Okay, so just for clarification, then, so these stealth rolls,
Just as bad as me.
we got a 4 technically for Dougal. We have a 17 for Tabs, a 2 for Kana, and a 3 for Captain Baxter. So off to a good start here on the first mission. But I mean, this is the thing with skill checks. You guys think you think you're doing okay. There's nothing to trip over or anything like that, and you are out in a storm. But yeah, okay. That's just good to know. Good to know. So, yeah,
the rest of them stick out like a sore thumb.
a little bit, yeah. You're able to kind of, I don't know, move forward a little bit more stealthy. I don't know. Maybe it's the nervous energy of like your first trip.
I'm just finding all the nice little nooks as we're going along.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
The idea that Tabs is doing the classic cartoon character tiptoeing action.
Or you guys think that at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you're not like tripping over things and making a lot of noise. You're just maybe not quite being as stealthy as you would like in general. As you're kind of, I guess we could say almost that like as you're kind of trying to make your way forward, you get like more snow flurries in the face, and you're sort of having to swipe it away, and you know there's a lot of unnecessary movements maybe happening that would hamper your stealth ability, I guess. But yeah, as the 4 of you make your way forward, you quickly find yourselves into the shadow of, as I said, this sort of 2-story building that Kana noticed earlier. It looks to be made of a stone of some sort as you get kind of closer, and you're able to kind of shine your torches on it a little bit. And it looks like there's a pair of columns kind of flanking a doorway, which is a pair of double doors that are basically almost the height of the building that are currently closed. The doors look to be made of the same stone material. There's a small ramp going up to them as well. You're able to kind of get a little bit out of the wind in the shadow of these columns as well, I will say.
Does this look familiar to me?
I guess, what would this be? I think this would kind of work as a science thing, because you're kind of working with archaeologists. So yeah, I think do a science check for me. You have advantage on this as well. 23? Okay. I'll say no, you probably don't need the advantage. You can do it if you want, see if you get a natural 20, but
that's fine.
Yeah. It's this looks to be very familiar sort of style of architecture, and that this is sort of kind of, it's a little bit out of fashion now, but this was kind of gold architecture from a couple of thousand years ago that was kind of in fashion for like official buildings and, well, for all wide variety of things anyway, but the sort of the styling on the columns and everything is sort of, yeah, it's very familiar to you as and that along with the pyramid. It's screaming at you for like, well, this was built by, you know who this was built by, kind of thing. As I say, not in recent styling though. This was maybe about 4,000 years old, this kind of particular type of architecture. Some of the details around the column and that are like, okay, we don't really do things like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, actually, if any of the rest of you had been to, it looks like sort of ancient Egyptian columns, I will say. That's from sort of layman's point of view, the humans, that would be your immediate view. But yeah, Kana specifically, this is, yeah, you recognise this is from a particular period.
This style is, well, to you, old. I've not seen this used for several thousand years. It's possible that this place was abandoned, or but it's unlikely to have had no remodelling. Perhaps too badly damaged. We shall see.
And she runs a claw down one of the columns as she's talking.
Yeah. It doesn't like leave a mark or anything. You're not just like defacing it.
But, no, it's just
unless you want to.
Not massively, just in case there is anything that might hear it.
No, I mean, it's still quite loud out here. But
Okay.
yeah, you just kind of, yeah. It seems solid.
When you say this dates back several thousand years, are you saying that this dates back to the period when the Goa'uld first turned up and abducted humans from Egypt? Does this date back to the time of Ra? I read that file.
Not that old. It would be Middle Kingdom. After the Goa'uld took Tauri to other planets.
Maybe this was a receipt site for those they abducted. And like you say, they just abandoned it one day when they didn't have any use for this planet anymore.
Like a port,
Exactly.
almost.
Possibly the planet proved to be less hospitable than hoped.
Captain Baxter sort of puts in, oh, it doesn't seem very hospitable now.
No, sir.
Should we get these doors open?
Yes, sir. Let's give you a hand.
Are there any levers on the door, or are they just like flat surfaces that you see me pushing?
They're just kind of flat, but there's seam up the middle you can sort of get your fingers in.
Can Kena sense if there's any, like, active tech that she can use?
What, in the door
Unlock the
system?
doors or something?
That's a very good question. I guess this would be some kind of... This would be like an engineering check, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, Tabs had 11 on the strength. Baxter had 8. So there's a lot of struggling against the door, and they're not really budging, I think.
Not quite got it yet.
No, and also they might be a little bit frozen. 6 on the engineering. It's tough to tell. I mean, there's no like kind of obvious control panel things. I mean, then the goal tend to kind of, that stuff gets a little bit hidden away behind blocks and things.
Yeah.
And just
It's not strong enough.
yeah, just in the general kind of situation, and like sort of with how old this is, you're having trouble kind of finding like a, you know, any signs of that active in this.
In which case, Kena will go over and lend her strength to the doors.
Okay. I guess this would just be, be athletics, I think.
Athletics.
Wow, okay, so another 5. We
Wow, I have used all my good rolls for the
Yeah.
night.
The dice bot gives and she taketh.
It's not on our side tonight. Dice bot.
Can Dougal try something?
Sure, what do you want to try?
Right, so good. Okay, so Dougal walks up behind the group and says, "Could I suggest you all stand back? I've got an idea." And he reaches for the Zatnicatel he picked up from the armory. And I'm going to shoot the doors once.
Sure.
One pull of the trigger. And see if the electrical charge unsticks the door somehow.
Okay. So you pull the Zatnicatel out, and it activates, does that sort of scorpion tail thing where it pops up, which seems...
I love that.
Yeah.
Ching.
It's got a good sound effect to it. And everybody sort of stands back, and you fire it at the door, and the blast sort of
Am I rolling
radiates.
for this?
Sorry?
Am I going to roll for this? Or?
Yeah, roll to see if you hit the door.
Okay. I would hope so, 'cause it's right in front of me.
Well, you never know. We've not been rolling well.
16.
Yeah, you hit the door.
Hey!
Yeah.
Well, it probably wasn't that difficult.
No, it wasn't, but like, look, the way we've been rolling,
You could have hit me.
yeah,
That's true. That's true.
it wouldn't have been the best. Look, I was gonna say it would have been the best start, but like, look, we haven't been rolling well. Yeah, you hit the door. The energy kind of, it sort of dissipates around, like where you hit, and kind of spreads out a little bit, but there's not really any, there's not any movement from the door from that.
No. Okay, so after the energy dissipates, Dougal says, "Right, try now."
Okay, I guess we'll all do an athletics check again.
I'll join in as well if you like.
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's all. I think all 4 of us should try again.
Oh, that's better.
21. Natural
Yay.
20.
Natural 20. Okay.
12.
So I can't confirm whether or not that Nikito had any effect, but
Oh, come on.
okay, I'll confirm it did not have an effect. But just having that extra time to kind of limber up and get the door open did help. You shot an electrical charge into a giant block of stone. It didn't really help, but but it gave everybody the confidence to try again.
Well, that's just Barnstaple rustic thinking, you know. Something don't work, shove electric charge through it. Works on my tractors.
That's how they do it in Barnstable, is it? No, we do it in D-Town.
Oi. I'll tell you what, this storm we walked into, it's so cold, it's like Boscastle in midwinter.
You've got Google Maps open.
No, I know Boscastle is in the West Country.
Yeah, I know, we're just picking
I've been there
random-
in the winter. Lovely place, but don't go there in midwinter. It is fucking freezing.
Okay. So yeah, with a lot of effort then, and between the 4 of you, perhaps bolstered by the Nikito shot, who knows? You managed to slowly pull the doors open far enough that you can get inside. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, June the 8th, for the next part of this Stargate one-shot, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can find us at pretendingwithdice.com. There's links on there to all of our social media pages, our Discord server, our merch store, our Ko-Fi page, and much, much more. So yeah, for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.